Hello everyone, my name is Owen. I am a senior solution engineer based in Sydney. So today I will demonstrate about data governance, so more related on data discovery and data verification. So mostly all these three different activities that I want to demonstrate to you guys. So basically the first one is discovery, so discovering new data set from non-technical users, and then provide basic profiling about the data set. And then the second one is basically do a searching, so as a data owner they can search any new data sets in the catalog system. So we provide a predefined profile, a search profile, or we call it a worksheet. And then the third one is basically sharing. So sharing is more like how a data owner manager kick off a workflow process to verify the new data set and then share with other users in the organization. So in this demonstration, I will use 5 different personas. So as Adam as a repository manager, and then Gordon data governance users, and then Owen data owner users, Odin and Talend users. So this is different meaning about this topic. And then in this demonstration, I will use different version of different tools. So for detector log, I use the latest one, which is 7.3.1, and then Talend Cloud data prep and data stewardship, I still use 7.2 because we are still waiting for end of month to release the 7.3. So basically the first step is basically as a repository manager to manage a new model and then do a harvesting or import metadata from different files, Excel files, even from tables. And then after that, there's a data governance users to manage, for example, accessing that new file model or Excel model. And then as a data governance, because data governance just not necessarily knows about the data. So basically this data governance users can inform other users. Basically in this case can be a data owner of that files or Excel files. So basically as a data owner also can manage different metadata attributes or custom attributes in data catalog. And then as a data owner later he or she can verify dataset. So that means as a data owner manager he will kick off a workflow process to data stewardship later, which is in this case will create a temporary dataset in data prep and then create a task as a resolution task in data stewardship. And then again as a data steward users or data custodian can view the dataset, which is we already created this temporary dataset. So that means from the resolution task there is a link that the users can click and then view the data. So at least he can know the context before doing some approval or modification. And then the next step will be in the resolution task to be able to modify the dataset name later, because in this case we create a temporary dataset and then basically after this process complete we want to create a new dataset which is in the final target. And then again in here we provide this user list. So basically we already create predefined data prep users who is entitled to see a dataset in data preparation. So basically in this case the data custodian can assign or just choose in the pick list or drop down list, just select any users that he wants to assign to this new dataset. Then again, the normal process for any campaign or task, so there will be a input, there will be a approval, so at least two level approval. After this resolution task complete, so basically we from the system itself we already define that okay, we will create automatically this arbitration task based on the resolution task. So that means whatever field that we bring from the first verification dataset includes these 2 additional fields, we will create an arbitration task. So that means the data custodian again can verify, okay, this is a new dataset, how many records in this dataset, and then this is the the users that will be assigned to this data set. Again, the same process. So we will provide a link. So from this arbitration task, the users can click and then actually redirect to data prep to see the content. And then in this process, basically there will be 2 arbitrations. So the choice is yes or no. So yes means okay, I will proceed, and then I will copy this temporary data set and then create a new data set with a new name, which is we input in this resolution task process, right? So that's just overview about the demonstration. So okay, so basically we already defined those 3 different applications. So in this case, I will show you how we configure the users. So we have Adam as a repository manager, Karen as governance users, and then Owen, and then Odin as a data manager. So the difference, basically, Owen is the one who will assign the attributes, but Owen cannot see the data if, for example, there is a hide data. But Odin as a data manager, he can see everything, which is the unmasked data. So in this case, we are logging as Adam. So Adam basically is a repository manager. That means Adam can create a new model, which is in this case, I create a model for files. And then I want to assign, as a repository manager, I want to assign this model to governance users, which is in this case, Gordon. And then this model, we need to configure the setup, which is how you want to send a notification. So basically it's automatically sent to the data steward. And then as a security access, so we want to assign only these groups to be able to see this file model. And then as an editor, and then manager, data viewer, and data manager. So we will assign Owen as a data viewer, and then Odin as a data manager. And also for security manager, we want to assign administrators group, and also Odin as a data manager. It's safe. So in this case, we already have a configuration which is doesn't have any this new file models. So in this case, Gordon we assign as a configuration manager, so there is no default configuration. But again, in this case, we already log in and then use governance configuration demo. So now what we want to do is basically want to import, which is start the process, harvesting process. So in this 7.3, you can see the process in here and then see the logs. So just wait a moment. So this is the process harvesting. There is about 53 files, and then actually it's automatically added. It is added to the existing configuration, which is the configuration that I used in login. And then this is the notification that we send from the catalog system to the data steward, which is in this case Gordon. Gordon already assigned to that Gmail account. So it's automatically added to the demo file sources. All right. So now, okay, so this is the landing page. It's a data governance. So again, as a data governance, I can see this demo file sources. So this is all the new metadata coming in today. In this case, for example, I just want to inform somebody else, which is the person who is familiar with the data. So I want to send to data owner users, in this case Owen. I send this email, and then okay, so there will be a email notification. Assume that this is the data owner users, Owen. So basically Owen can log into the system. The same process, we already have a worksheet, and then data owner users can just navigate, or actually they just click. From the link. So hopefully that works. But again, you can do a manual process. which is just navigate to the worksheet, the same worksheet, etc. For example, I just, as a data owner, I want to open this Excel file. So for example, this is all the attributes we have, and then we already have a catalog action. But in this case, I want to focus on another files, which is not Excel files. For example, I just want to log into this folder, which is IS400. And then let's click this this file, which is for customer file address 2. So again, as a data owner, I can do a okay. In this case, I just try to run a profiling, but again, as data owner, it's not permitted to run a profiling. So basically, later we need to log in as Odin, which is a data manager. So again, this is the error, which is showing that okay, data owner, you cannot profile, although you have that menu. Actually, later we can modify the presentation layer. So basically, as a data owner, so we just need to remove that data profiling button. Yeah. So for example, in this case, I want to inform my data manager to run a profiling. So hi Odin, okay, please run a profiling for this data set, for example. Yeah. Can you run a profiling? Send. And basically the idea is we want to log in as a data manager, as Odin. Right, so Odin in here, for example, navigate for demo file source, and then we want to find the CF ADDR2, which is the one that we tried to profile before. Right, okay. So this should work because this user is a data manager. Alright, it's done. So you can see there is row count 8, and then now I want to try to remove the menu as a data owner, because in this case is Owen is a data owner, so I just want to remove that so it's not confusing. Okay, so now as either data owner or data manager, actually these roles can modify the attributes. So it means later we can modify the attribute, but again in here is showing you the profiling result, and then this is the custom attributes. So for example, I want to add 4 new attributes, then I want to change because the folder is actually source db400. Yeah. Okay, so there are 4 different additional attributes. And then after that, we can refresh the screen. So now you can see in here catalog action. So now we are ready to create a data set. Okay, so let me log into data preparation. So now I want to trigger this process. So that means I'm expecting a new data set created. So you can see the first line a few seconds ago. So exactly CF IDDR2. So basically from catalog, we trigger a process to upload that files into data prep. And now let's try something else. So I log in as a data manager, Odin. Then again, we already upload one file, is CF ADDR2. So now as a data manager, actually I can trigger a workflow process. So previously we triggered to create dataset directly, but now I want to trigger a process, a workflow process. So that means in this case, I already assigned to data manager, the one who can trigger this workflow process. So you can see in here, so all campaign is still 0. So now I want to trigger a process. Basically with this process, so we are expecting there will be a one unassigned task which is coming from CF-ADDR2. So you can see that unassigned task 1. Then basically in here as a Talend user, which is the data custodian. So for example, I will trigger another workflow. So from, let's see, IS400 and then CFMAS, customer file master. So again here I will add additional attributes. Then file location I want to change to source DB400. Right, and then again, as usual, as a data manager, we can trigger a profiling. So at least you can see the basic profiling results from catalog system. Then okay, it's finished. Now you can see there is 11 records, and then the catalog action is ready. So now let me trigger this process. So now let's wait a second. So we are expecting unassigned becoming 2 because we trigger for cfmust.csv. Okay, so now we can see the another task. So it's cfmust. Okay, and then let's see if we have Excel files. Okay, so these Excel files basically again the same thing. So let's do a profiling. Okay, so in data catalog basically you can do a profiling for any type of files. Even if you have Parquet file, actually you can profile from the data catalog. So you can see in here there is 11 rows. And then okay, now we plan to trigger this Excel file, but before that let's see the profiling result for these specific columns. Okay, done, suburb. Okay, and then I want to add custom attributes as usual. So file location is correct, Excel files, and then let's refresh the screen. So now let's trigger a process, kick off a workflow. So now we are expecting that Excel files to be created in data prep, and also create automatically the new task, which is the entity type is Excel file. So now you can see, okay, there is Excel files, record number 3. Then again in here there is a link where the data custodian can see the data, basically that will redirect to data prep for different data set. Okay, so as a data custodian, as a steward, I can see the data, and then I need to claim this task and also submit for approval. Right, so let's see. Actually behind the scene it will create these 3 different data set. That's why we can click the URL and then see the data. So in here we already have a dataset user list, which is already predefined. I already defined 3 different users. This is all the users that I have in my Talend Cloud account, which is entitled to log into data prep. So this is the new dataset name. So I'm trying to put a different prefix. So for the Indra.talend2, I will use prefix demo, and then the other one is demo2. 3 different users. Okay. So now I already submit for approval. So now I need to log in as a data steward manager in Talend Cloud. select application, data stewardship. Right, so let me filter just arbitration resolution, and then this is the prefix. Okay, so now I see 3 tasks for approval. So let me just accept all these 3. So again, as a data steward manager, so at this moment we haven't shared the data. So let me go back to data steward, which is the data custodian in data prep. Okay, so this is data stewardship. Right, so let me go to data prep screen. So I log in as a Talend user. So let me share these 3 dataset with Indra Limina, which is the data steward manager. Wait, I forgot to click add to list. Right. So let's see as a data steward manager. Okay, so we're still missing 1 dataset, which is CF mask. So let me, oh yeah, I forgot to click confirm. So now as a manager, I can see 3 different datasets. So now I can click directly from the task and then redirect to this dataset. Okay, cool. So now we're done with this configuration. So let me just submit this approval process. Okay, so basically we've done with the resolution task for sharing assignment. So now we are expecting the governance dataset verification. So whatever we've done with the previous campaign or task, we want somebody to verify. So in this case, we are waiting for governance dataset verification, new unassigned task. So let's see whether the background process running well. Wait a second. So let's check the process. Oh, I haven't run this job. So let me run the job. So the first job is basically to run to detect if any resolution task from the first campaign, and then I want to trigger the arbitration task to the second campaign. Okay, so let's just do this to refresh the screen instead of refresh from the browser. So now we haven't seen any new tasks. Okay, so now we have 3 different tasks. So let's change to unassigned. So we have 3 different tasks. So this is the task that we created before. So let's just try to just proceed. So basically I acknowledge that this is a correct assignment. So now I log in as a data steward manager. So I just accept this 3 different tasks. So now we just wait for the backend process, which is I run it every 30 seconds, just to copy from this temporary dataset to the new dataset name. So let's see. So let's check the job. Okay, so the job is running. Okay, let's just refresh again. Okay, we see the first dataset created. That's a new dataset name, and then because the second files basically we create to another users, and then let's see the third file dataset. Okay, so now we have all these 3 confirmed dataset with the new dataset name. Right, so again in here you can certify dataset, you can add to favorite. So so anything you want as a data custodian. So in the futures, actually this screen will be replaced by data inventory. So I see all the new data set management will be handled in data inventory. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so if any question, you can raise email to me.